Good morning Year 3, happy Friday! Welcome to your maths video for Friday the 22nd of January. So this is a video for you if you've got the Year 3 maths booklet. So today we're going to be completing page 10 in our booklets, which has got exercise 10 at the top. And like usual, you're going to complete all 3 sections on that page. And if you want to challenge yourself, remember once you've completed it, go and complete a time yourself test, which starts on page 29, but I know lots of you are already completing the ones on page 30 and 31, so you can continue with the next test there. But first of all, let's have a little look at some of the questions we've got here today. So in your startup challenge today, you will notice that we've got all 4 operations. You've got some additions, subtractions, multiplications and divisions. So you need to just make sure you're looking really carefully at which operation you're doing, okay? Because there's no pattern to it today. So we're starting off with a multiplication, then we go to a division, but then we're going to a subtraction, then to an addition, and then to a multiplication. So you just need to make sure you're reading the question really carefully, making sure you're using the correct operation, and then checking your answer makes sense, because that's really important. So let's just have a look at one similar question that you've got on that challenge today in your startup. You've got quite a few questions where we've got a missing number in the middle of the calculation. So we have a look here, we've got our answer at the start with our equal sign. Remember, that's absolutely fine, doesn't matter which side our equal sign is on, we just need to focus on the calculation. So I've got 222 equals something, add 180. So we're trying to work out what we've added to 180 to get us to 220. Now, if we have a look at those 2 numbers, I'm looking carefully, what do you notice that they've both got in common? Oh, they end in a 0. So that must mean that they're both multiples of 10. So we can count in our tens from 120 to 180, to 220 to work out how many tens we've counted up in, and our answer will go there. So can you count in your tens with me? Let's put 180 in our head, and we're going to count in our tens until we get to 220. So 180 in our head, 190, 200, 210, 220. We added on 4 tens, and we know 4 tens is 40, okay? Now once you've wrote that in, you can always check it again by counting, adding those 4 tens on to make sure you get to 220. But just look really carefully at the numbers you start with and check your operations. Now, moving on to your integer challenge. You've got lots of similar questions to these today. So my first one, 45 is how many more than 19? So we're looking to find the difference between the numbers. How many more is 45 than 19? So when we're looking to find the difference between 2 numbers, we know we need to subtract. And in this subtraction, we always put our biggest number first. So 45, I'm going to do a column subtraction. 45 subtract 19. Because we know when we do a subtraction, our biggest number comes first. Oh, my ruler didn't come out then. Make sure I'm doing my neatest presentation in my book. There we go. So, we know our column subtraction, like column addition, we always start with the ones. So I've got 5 ones, subtract 9 ones. I can't take 9 ones away from 5 ones because 5 ones are smaller. So remember our rhyme? There's more on the floor, so we go next door and get 10 more. Getting 10 more, going to exchange a 10. So we had 4 tens, we've now got 3 tens left. I'm going to exchange that 10 and pop it into my ones column. So now I've got 15 subtract 9. Now you put 15 in your head and count back 9, or some of you might just know by looking at it that 15 subtract 9 is 6. Okay, so we've done our ones, we're going to move on to our tens. I've now got 3 tens, not 4 tens anymore because I exchanged a 10. 3 tens take away 1 10. So 3 10s take away 1 10. I've got 2 10s left, okay? Now you've got another similar question to this about even and odd numbers, okay? So if we just do a little recap, we know our even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. So if I have a look at 730, it ends in a 0, so I know it must be an even number. Odd numbers then end in 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Have a look at 641, it ends in a 1, so it must be an odd number. So you'll have some numbers like this, and it's asking you to add the odd numbers. Pay attention whether it's asking you to add the odd or the even. Mine's asking me to add the odd. So first of all, I'm going to circle all the odd numbers. So I know 6 is an even number. Oh, I know 9 is an odd. Now 24 ends in a 4, so that's even. I know 3 is an odd number, and using that, 13 ends in a 3, so that's got to be an odd number too. 12 ends in a 2, so it's an even, but 11 ends in a 1, so it's an odd. So once you've found your odd numbers, you need to add them all together. So you can write your calculation out, you can count on as you go, or you can put all of the numbers, the odd numbers that you find, into column method, column addition this time, in your book, and use your book to show your working out, okay? Moving on then, you've got another fraction question again in this section. So we've got a quarter of 36 is how many, okay? Now a fraction is part of a whole. So my denominator is 4 divided, and it's asking me how many 4s go into 36, and I just want one of those parts. So all we need to do is counting our 4s until we get to 36, and we will have our answer. So can you count in your 4 times table with me until we get to 36? You ready? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. That's 9, because 9 times 4 is 36. I only want one of those, so it's just going to be 9. Remember, if you're struggling to count in your 4s, okay, we know a fraction is part of a whole, and if I'm splitting it into 4 equal parts, you can then just share out your number. So I've got 36, I can share out my 36 counters, and I only want one of those parts, and you can count what's in that, okay? But remember how many 4s are going into your number. Denominator is 4 dividing. Right, one last question you've got in that section is asking you to fill in the missing number. Now I've had a look at these numbers. I know that these numbers are in my 3 times table, but they're missing some numbers, so it's not going up in 3s, because it'd go 3, 6, 9, okay? So we need to work out what jumps our sequence is going up in. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've counted on, I've added 6, so it's going in jumps of 6. But I just need to double check that every number is going up by 6, because sometimes sequences can trick us, and one time it can go up in 6, then it goes up in 5, then it goes up in 6. So we need to just double check. So 9, I'm going to see if it goes up, adding another jump of 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, yeah, that's adding a jump of 6. And finally 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I know I just need to add 6 to 21, which we know is 27, okay? So look carefully at the numbers that you've been provided with in your sequence and work out what jumps they are going up in first before you get filling in your number, because it might not be going up in your times tables. Right, moving on then to your tough challenge for today. Bobby has 60 grapes. He gives 20 to Jake. He's given 20 to Jake, but then Jake gives him 12 back. How many grapes does Bobby have now? So we know Bobby started with 60 grapes and he gives 20 to Jake. Now there's a couple of steps in this. I'm going to take it step by step to break it down. He gives 20 to Jake, but then Jake gives him 12 back. And we need to find out how many grapes does Bobby have now. So he started with 60, here's my first step. But he gave 20 to Jake. So if he's given 20 away, we need to subtract 20 grapes from the 60 he started with. I know 60 take away 20 is 40. So at the moment, after giving Jake 20 grapes, he's got 40 left. But then Jake didn't want those 20, he gave 12 back. So if Jake's giving them back, we need to add those 12 back onto our 40. So it'd be my second step, 40, add 12. So I've got a subtraction and an addition. Now I can use my place value. I know that 2 ones add no ones is 2 ones, and 1 10 add 4 tens is 5 tens. Okay, so Bobby now has 52 grapes. So I've done that in my 2 steps. You've got to think about having those grapes. He gave some away, so you need to subtract, but then he's got some back, so we need to add them back on. Right, well, last question for this section. I've got a bag of flour, has a mass of 4 kilograms. That's how much it weighs. One bag of flour weighs 4 kilograms. Okay, I'm going to underline that. What will be the mass of 5 bags? So to visualise this, I'm going to draw out my bags. So there's 1 bag of flour. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And each bag has a mass of 4 kilograms. So this one's 4 kg. This one's 4 kg. 4 kilograms, same as this one. 4 kilograms. Ooh, I'm sure your bags of flour will look a lot neater than mine. 4 kg and 4 kilograms for that one. Okay, so what will be the mass of 5 bags? So I've got my 5 bags, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I know they're 4 kilograms each. So what the question is asking me is like a repeated addition. 4 kilograms, add 4, add 4, add 4 equals. But we know repeated addition is just a multiplication. I've got 5 lots of 4 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 4 kilograms in each bag. And 5 lots of 4 we write as 5 times 4. Okay? And we all know our 5 and 4 times table. 5 times 4 is 20. So altogether, I've got 20 kilograms. Okay, so I don't have to individually add those bags up. It's just repeated addition, which we know we can do a multiplication of 5 lots of 4 kilograms. Okay, so make sure you're reading your questions really carefully, and when you've done year 3, you can move on to your Time Yourself challenge. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.